folks. Thank you for tuning into the latest episode of Vinyl and Vision. Happy New Year. I know it's a little late, but it's new to me. I have been on break for all of December. After the release of the Hammer Parties episode in November, and the tragedy that struck with Andy Newman passing away very suddenly, I kind of just decided it was time to take some time off and disappear for a little bit. Regroup, rethink, and resolve, I guess. So as much as I don't like resolutions in the new year, I had made some kind of. I don't like to call them that, but I have a resolve to come back in the new year stronger, more clear, and more focused to bring more shows and bring you more episodes on a more regular basis. So, with that being said, this is my first episode of 2021. Matt Trapp is my guest. He is a awesome, great hang, just a great human being, super funny, super great hang. We fucking lost it. I lost it, I'll admit. Kind of got a little too loose that evening speaking with him, and that might shine through a little bit if you listen. But he's just a really fun, great guy, and he's in a great band. He's been in great bands. Currently, he's been in Songbirds. So we'll provide links to their Bandcamp. You can pick up their latest 7-inch release, which is a 5-song EP. And they have a kind of companion piece to that called 2020, which is available digitally on their Bandcamp page as well. I highly recommend you pick up both of those. It's a great listen, great album if you put them together. And Matt discusses Cheater Slick's Don't Like You. Crazy little garage rock record from a crazy historic band that's been around for a very, very long time and has a huge discography. So if you like Songbirds, you may like Cheater Slicks. If you like Cheater Slicks, you may like Songbirds. So I recommend you check them both out, or whatever, do whatever you want, but listen to some of this music. It's actually really great. Otherwise, what you're listening to is a selection of the Songbirds 7-inch, simple, self-titled 5-song EP, Siren Song. So, without further ado, thank you very much. Do all those things you do with the internet, please. Like, share, subscribe, follow us everywhere on all the social medias and on YouTube especially, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. And rate and review that thing too. Everyone loves that. We all love it. It's great. And enjoy. Speaking of which, hi Matt. Cheers. Here we go. Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year.
I asked you here today in this year of 2021 to speak of an album which was a influence on you.
Near and dear to the heart.
Yeah? Okay. So you chose Cheater Slick's Don't Like You.
Yes.
This is your copy of the record. Mm-hmm. Which, just kind of looking at it quickly, because this is my first time really examining it, there's like nothing here. There's like
it's bare bones, and that speaks of the band and the whole thing there. It's like, it's just what you need. It's minimalist, and it's
This is from
cheap.
In the Red Records.
Yeah.
I'll take a little photo of this later. I also wanted to introduce you. You are currently the drummer for Songbirds. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you for this, by the way.
Ah, glad you like it.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Because you do like it.
Yeah. It's great. How many songs are on this?
5.
No, I'm kidding. I know the songs. As a matter of fact, you were recently written up in the Cranston Herald by good old Rob Duguay. Is that how you pronounce his name? Duguay?
I don't know.
I think so.
Duguay? I'm suggesting, not.
So Rob wrote
yeah, Rob.
Rob wrote a write-up on you guys for in the Cranston Herald. I already read this, but I can't remember precisely at this moment, but it seemed like he was right. He said that you guys were releasing 2 EPs this year.
Yeah,
or last year, 2020, technically.
Yeah, I mean, during the absence of band practice, because, like, there's 4 guys in the band, and we all have seemingly different concerns about COVID.
Right.
But it all boils down to, it doesn't matter if any one person doesn't want to practice because they think there's a possibility of getting sick and dying, then we're not practicing.
Right.
It's kind of like an all or nothing kind of thing. And like, we gave up our practice space early on because I was like, when it hit in March or whatever, by April I was like, everyone's kind of scrambling to pay the rent on this place, and we haven't used it for a few weeks now, and it doesn't look like there's any end in sight. Maybe we should get, and I suggested it to the 3 bands that we were sharing it with. And I was like, should we? And I was kind of hesitant to suggest, because it's hard to get a practice space.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you guys think we should get rid of it? And everyone's like, yes. I was like, oh fuck. And then it was gone, and I was like, oh man, like, in a month from now am I going to be really regretting this?
Right.
And of course it's been fucking 10 months, and
I guess it was kind of a good idea.
Yeah, in hindsight, I just hope we can find a place come 2023 when
it's back to normal.
Yeah, normal,
or whatever happens.
Back to open.
Yeah.
Practice spaces are shockingly expensive for the shitholes that they are.
I'm sure that they are. I haven't really had to scout for one in a long time.
Yeah.
But I was interested in buying a building for that exact reason.
You should totally do that.
I can't do that.
No.
I don't have the money for that. I seriously, I saw a building. I was just like, oh, that's only $600,000. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't. I don't have the down payment for that. I don't. I just don't have it. If I did, I would.
Neither do I. Yeah.
I totally would have forced my wife into doing it. I totally would have said, this is what we need to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't have the funds. If somebody else wants to go in on it with me, and we can do some kind of partnership to buy a warehouse, to do like maybe 2 floors of jam space rooms, and then 1 floor of like my original idea was, I do the record sales. So I was just like, well, what if I have like a record store,
right,
and like a music store, so I could actually sell like the sticks and the strings and the picks that all the bands are going to need anyway. Everyone wants to come and hang and fucking look at records. So why not have like that be the whole first floor?
Can you imagine the amount of loitering you're gonna have in that fucking place?
Yeah,
bunch of deadbeats.
Right. Well, it's true, but wouldn't it be fun? Like, wouldn't it be nice? Like the whole thing you were saying about like, every week you would go out to Armageddon or Analog Underground or wherever record store, and that's what you do. You hang at record stores.
Yeah. You talk about music, see what's going on, local scene and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like when I moved to Providence, I was blown away how little local shows had these amazing silkscreen posters.
Oh yeah.
Because like I drop flyers and posters and shit, and like I was doing pen ink drawings, Kinko's copy, maybe on colored paper if I'm feeling rich, and then like and that was like going the extra mile back home.
Right.
And I came here and I'm like, whoa, this is It's like my friend Darren Johnson taught me how to silkscreen, because I was like, man, you can't move to Providence and not learn how to silkscreen. It's like a wasted effort.
So actually, I wanted to ask you about that. So you are not originally from Rhode Island. You moved from Illinois?
Yeah. I lived in Champaign, Illinois.
Champaign?
Yeah.
So fancy.
It's an incredibly fancy town.
It lives up to its name.
It's sparkling.
As you drink the sparkling, the champagne of beer.
Yes. Oh, keeps me home.
So when did you move from Champaign?
2003.
2003.
So I've been here a while.
And so what drove you here? Why did you come here in 2003?
A girl.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
She was living here or going to school?
No, we lived in Champaign, and then she wanted to get her master's degree at Boston University, and she had friends that lived in Providence, so she's like, I'll move to Providence and commute because it's way cheaper than Boston.
Right.
And she left, and she's like, I'm going to get a place, and then you can come out. And that's what I did. I came to Providence. I'd never been here.
And what did you know about Providence moving here?
Nothing.
Oh yeah.
No,
You
I knew she was here.
You didn't even like look into the music scene or anything like that.
No, no. I was kind of consumed with my own partying and my own band at the time, and like right before I moved here, I went on my like the only cross country tour I've ever been on, and I was just kind of partying and having a lot of fun, having a really good time. But like, I was never one of those people that's like, I gotta get out of this town, man. Like people got to get out of their hometown because it's crushing them. And I was like, it's a pretty nice town, cool people. But I felt like I should move because I would grow as a person if I got out of my comfort zone of like the place I grew up.
Yeah,
and I'm really glad I did.
So let's go back a little further now. So you're born and raised in Champaign, Illinois. So what was music like for you growing up? Like what was your first kind of introduction to music as a kid?
Well, like everybody my age, was MTV. It was like I had an older cousin that was like way into Madonna.
Right.
And excuse me. I was listening to the radio. Run DMC seemed cool. And then like the first album I bought with my own money was Licensed to Ill.
86-ish?
Whatever the fuck it came out, I don't know.
I don't know when it came out. But yeah.
Yeah. Early 80s, mid 80s, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Okay.
They had the dude from Slayer play a guitar lead in their big Fight for Your Right to Party video.
Right.
I thought it was the greatest video I'd ever seen. I thought it was all totally awesome.
Which if you look at it now, kind of is like, God, that's fucking cheesy as shit.
Oh yeah, but it's great still, but in a different way. It's like hokey fantastic.
Right.
Whereas at the time I was like, wow, these dudes party, because my concept of what is a party was formulated completely off of watching videos like that. Wasn't doing a lot of partying when I was like 10.
Right. Yeah. You had to grow into that still.
Yeah.
And you sure did.
Yeah, I like to party.
You are in fact a party pig.
Card carrying.
So so 80s are around. You're a young kid. You're listening to Beastie Boys. That was the first record you bought. When do you start getting into the idea of making music?
Oh, not till like my mid-20s.
So when's the first instrument you played? Drums?
Drums.
And when did you start playing drums?
I first started playing drums when I was like 22 or 3.
Okay.
Because I had this friend, last few years of living in Champaign, I had this friend, Adam Stonehouse. And he was really into all kinds of totally awesome music. And we had very similar tastes, but he knew way more than I did. Like he was deeper in it than I was. And he was just turning me on to stuff left and right, like the Cheater Slicks. But yeah, he got me into a whole lot of cool music that I didn't know about. And he always wanted to make a band. And I didn't play any instruments. And he was like, why don't you learn how to play drums? He was a drummer, but he also knew how to play guitar. He's like, why don't you play drums? It's easy. And I was like, no, it's not my thing. And then he had this practice space that was like right next to the it was in this building that was right next to like where all the bars and clubs were in Champaign. And I was dating this girl, and like I wanted to impress her. And I was like, Adam, give me the keys to your practice space. Like we're gonna go fuck around on stuff in there. It'll be cool. And he's like, all right, man, but don't fuck anything up. Like like they don't even want me there. Like he was sharing it with a bunch of people.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I totally like wormed my way in. They don't want me in there. And I went in there, and we were fucking totally trashed. And we didn't break anything, but I played this guy's drum set, and apparently I played it hard enough that he came in the next day and was like, what the fuck? Who let these people in here? Adam did, you're out. And he kicked him out. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, man. And he's like, all right, well, you owe me. You have to play drums now. I was like, okay. And
as soon as you find a new room.
Well, we were just doing it in his basement,
okay.
In the middle of the day till, like you could play, like that was the thing. In Champaign, you could play basement shows. You could play in your basement as long as your roommates would tolerate it. And like here, you can't really do that shit here. You
can. I mean, it just depends on how much you give a fuck about everybody around you. So
anyway, so I played with Adam, and that's how I started playing drums. And then I was singing because, it was just the two of us. So it was kind of thin, which was just a 2-piece. So I would sing just to add another, there's only so many tools in the toolkit here.
Right.
So I would sing as well, and that's how I started singing and playing drums. I ended up really liking it. So thanks, Adam.
Cool, man. Yeah. So that was the band that you were in that you said that you were doing the tour with?
No, that was. I was still just kind of fucking around. I was struggling to play any sort of beat. And then I started a band called Dead Weight and the Lost Cause with my friend Luke, and then we did like a 2-week tour. It's like the most tour I've ever done. I've consistently been in bands that don't want to tour. That I'm like, this is a great band, we should tour, and everyone's like, nah.
I don't know. You're not really missing much, I guess. If they're
well,
all.
I got. Some of it's just the age and stuff like that. But like, I went on this 2-week tour, and I had, it was like one of the best times of my life. I had so much fun.
Yeah. I mean, it can be fun, but it's just not. It's not lucrative. And then.
No, it was some eating peanut butter sandwiches on the side of the highway type shit.
Right.
So,
but you imagine doing that, 6, 7, 8, 10 times out of the year.
Yeah.
Like that way.
Yeah.
It's like it gets.
It's a young man's game.
It sure is. Yeah. And it just grinds you. Like, the few like really great moments in between. Like you find this show where there's like 50 people and they really love it.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes it worth it. But
oh yeah, we played some fucking awful shows on that tour, and then we played some honestly the best shows I've ever played and the worst shows I ever played, and like I played a show in Bozeman, Montana. It was during the summer, so they have a college, but it was summertime.
Yeah.
And it's like straight up one guy showed up.
Yeah.
And he showed up because on the flyer it said Champaign, Illinois, and he was from Champaign, but he had moved away like 20 years ago. And he was like this hippie dude that was really cool to hang out with. He's like, we played for him. And they're like, what do you think? He's like, not my thing at all, man. But he was like, cool. We hung out with him. And, it was fine.
Yeah, he put you up, all that stuff?
No, we ended up sleeping in the van next to the dumpster after getting stoned with these two, 50-year-old hags. Got us more stoned than I've ever been in my life. And then they had this badass Monte Carlo. And after a while, I realized that there was somebody in the back seat. I was like, oh, there's somebody in the back seat of your car. I think he's throwing up. Oh. And she's like, oh, that's my boyfriend. He's a skateboarder. I'm like, well, he's throwing up in your car. And they're like, he's beautiful. I'm like, okay.
Even when he's puking?
Yeah, I mean, he was just totally retching in the back of this car. And they're like, it doesn't matter. I'm like, it doesn't matter to me.
He must be fucking handsome.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to you. It doesn't matter to me. But that's what's happening.
So, okay, so then all this stuff happens. You join all these bands, kind of in and out of all these bands. You end up, well, let's mention Party Pigs you were in Providence, I know about, with Chris Annunziato. And
solid dude.
Your keyboard player was in Party Pigs too. Zach. I don't know Zach.
Zach Bryans. Oh, he's a cool guy.
I'll meet him eventually.
He's from, I mean, I think he was born outside of Fall River, but he lived in Boston for a long time. I met him through friends in Boston. And he was in Turpentine Brothers. You know that band?
It sounds familiar, but I don't.
They were phenomenal. It was a fucking fantastic band. Justin Hubbard, Terry McManus.
And wasn't he in the Kings of
Kings of Nothing? Yeah. He did that. He played a real piano, and they took it on tour with them, and set it on fire, and they tricked that fucking thing up fire escapes to get it into buildings. I was like, God, that's a commitment.
On club tours.
Yeah. They toured extensively. They toured Europe. They were a big deal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know that name. I know both of those names. I just don't think I've ever listened to any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I'll look into it. But so then also, so he was in Party Pigs with you. So then Party Pigs eventually disband, right? And was Black Clouds before or after that?
Black Clouds was before that.
Okay, it was before that. Because that was with Glenn.
That was with Glenn.
And Glenn is now playing in Songbirds with you.
Right.
Glenn is amazing. I seldom ever see him now.
No, I mean he's kind of a homebody,
as we all are now.
He's especially a homebody, but he's super smart. He's super funny.
Yeah,
he's a great guy.
Yeah, And so then the only thing to round out the Songbirds is Damien Perini.
Mm-hmm.
So how did that how did Songbirds kind of get together?
Well, after Party Pigs broke up, I didn't do anything for a little while, and it's like every single band I've ever been in, when it finally is done, I'm like, am I done? I don't know. Maybe I'm done. And then like a little time goes by, and I'm like, I don't know, kind of feeling restless, you know, and start another band, you know, and I mean, I never wanted Black Clouds to break up. I thought that band was like. I thought that band gelled, and I just loved being in that band.
Right.
And then I always liked playing with Glenn, and then Glenn was done for like, you know, he was like, I'm done. And so then I started Party Pigs, and then after Party Pigs was over, I was like, Glenn, you still feel like jamming? Because you're the fucking man, you know.
Right.
And Zach still wanted to play, and I was like, well, we need another element. And Damien, who's been around, you know, I've been seeing him in bands for the entire time I've lived here.
Right.
I was always like, that guy's a phenomenal guitar player, and he's always in these bands where I feel like they're not that great bands, but like he's great.
Right.
And then he started Tall Teenagers, which I thought was a really great band.
Finally.
Yeah. Like, finally, this guy fucking started a band I really like, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, and some of that's just my personal tastes.
Yeah,
you know, he's been in other bands that have had much greater success, you know, than I have, but like it just wasn't my thing. And so he's in Tall Teenagers, and I mentioned that to somebody that I think I was talking to Shannon or Chelsea or something, and I was like, yeah, started saying Glenn's in, you know, we're gonna see what we can do, and he like overheard. He's like, what? You're doing a band with Glenn? Can I get in? And I was like, why do you want to start a band? You're finally in a good band.
Right.
You know? But he just wants to play with everybody all the time.
He just always wants to do something.
Yeah. Which is great.
Right.
I love that energy, you know?
For sure.
So we started playing, and I was like, oh, yeah, he's a great guitar player. And this is a great band. So here we are.
Oh. And so then, it just all rounded out together. Like the four of you kind of like eventually got in the same room together and started writing music, I guess.
Yeah, at first it was me and Glenn, and then Damien came in, and Zach was always gonna come in, and it's just like
he wanted to come in like when some songs were done.
No, I can't remember. It's, you know, memory.
Yeah.
Weed.
It's been 2 years now. The band's been together for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, one of those.
Because I think because Damien was in here talking with me with Chelsea as the Tall Teenagers.
Yeah.
And I remember that's the first time I ever heard about Songbirds, because he had mentioned how Chelsea was going to record some stuff for Songbirds.
Mm-hmm. And she did.
And that was like 2018, I think.
Yeah, so we had been playing at least a year before that.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, probably like 4 time.
Now it's like
time. What does it even?
It doesn't fucking matter.
What does it mean?
Okay, but so you guys have been together for a long time. You're writing some songs.
Yeah.
Eventually, you record with Chelsea, and so that's like what fucking Rob was writing about.
Yeah. Back to your question. Remember when you asked me a question?
I don't know.
I go on tangents. You have to reel me in, dude.
I don't care.
I'll just fucking babble.
No, well, because I'm not good at talking either, because I keep on kind of like. I have the same problem. My wife and I do this all the time. We're just like, we start talking about something, and then we're like, oh wait, remember that thing that we were like, we finished conversations.
Anyway,
yeah.
The thing that sparked this journey we went on was
yeah, and it's getting a lot worse now in quarantine.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. I was bad before quarantine.
Yeah,
I go on tangents. It's something I've only recently been aware of. I go on tangents and I interrupt like crazy.
Okay.
Because I'm fucking enthusiastic about whatever it is I'm saying, and I'm just like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, and I like that. I like people's enthusiasm. Well, so you cut me off and you say stuff and just talk, and that's fine by me. I like it. So but yeah, so Chelsea was recording. She recorded the first record. Rob was the fucking guy in the article. He wrote about that record, that EP, which is a 7-song EP. What's it called?
I don't know.
The world is going fucking mad.
The world's gone to fucking hell.
The world's going to fucking hell. And 2020.
Very true.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
But that came out in 2018.
It's always kind of true, though. No. See, like, we recorded a bunch of shit. Like, I fucking hate recording. like
Okay.
I hate, but I like having records. But I found a lot of times I'll just do it. I'll do the fucking job. I'll record, and then nothing comes of it, and it fucking pisses me off.
Right.
Because I'm like, I didn't want to do this in the first place, and it ended up being for nothing. But
Right.
like, I really like just going to the woodshed and just like coming up with new ideas and new shit, and then recording. It's like, like I said, I like having the record. Like I truly like having the record. Like this 7-inch I gave you.
Yeah.
I'm so excited that we have that and we made that. It's great.
It's beautiful.
And like the recording process with that was not terrible because Jared recorded it, and he's the easiest going guy I've ever fucking encountered. So
Yeah, Distorted Forest.
yeah. It just kind of, it was much easier than other experiences.
Yeah.
But we recorded with Chelsea, and we recorded like everything we had pretty much, and then like nobody liked it enough to press wax.
Yeah.
You know, so we're like, I don't really know what to do with this, and we hemmed and hawed about stuff. And then we recorded with Jared, and we, you know, it's like we want to get these 5 songs recorded. Anything else we do is like just extra bonus.
Yeah.
So we ended up recording a bunch of stuff because it just went smoothly. You know, so we took the 5 that we really wanted, we made the record that you just showed, and then with the pandemic going on, we're kind of sitting around, we're not practicing, we're not coming up with new stuff,
Right.
and it gave me the time. Instead of going to practice, I made the 7-inch happen.
Right.
You know, I contacted the record, you know, pressing plant, and you know the guy that makes the sleeves, and you know, it's like, it's a tremendous amount of bullshit to like get these fucking things done, and they take fucking forever.
Right.
Because what I discovered is so one guy masters it, which we used Machines with Magnets, which
Okay.
they did a great job.
Seth?
Seth and Keith.
Okay.
And then we took it to this, like I talked to Ben Barnett at Armageddon Shop.
Yep.
And I was like, who do I contact? And he's like, contact this guy to get it mastered. And even though I've had it mastered, there's like another thing where they make plates.
Vinyl. Yeah. Okay.
So then those plates go to some place in Jersey, which I didn't even know about this step. And they do the word magnets was used a lot. They make something else out of that plate that then goes to the record press. So you can have like 1,000 guys that cut these plates, and you have 1,000 guys that press records, but there's only like this one place in Jersey that does this other step. So everything bottlenecks there.
Right.
And like, you know, it went to this place and they fucking lost it. And I didn't know they'd lost it. So I'm just trying to be patient. I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting. And like, you know, like months, like 2 months go by. And I'm like, hey, you know, I don't want to bother anybody, but is this normal? And blah, blah, blah. And they're like, well, I don't know. It kind of takes a while. So I call the place and they're like, we never received it. So I call the guy that cut the plates, and I'm like, they said they never received it. He's like, I'm on it. And then he wrote me back like 5 minutes later, and he's like, found it, everything, you know, they just lost it, but they found it, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh man, thanks for getting on the ball. Like, I mean, you know, for my little 7-inch. And he's like, oh no. That shipment I gave them had a fuckload of stuff in it. If they had lost it, that would be a huge financial loss for me. I was like, oh, okay, so it's not about mine. You know, but whatever.
Hey,
you know, it worked out.
Done. Yeah,
it worked out. And it's
good.
just like, you know, all this bullshit I would never have the time to do if there wasn't a fucking pandemic and I'm stuck at home, you know?
Right.
So.
Huh. Okay.
So I made, you know, and during the pandemic, I got that 7-inch made, but Damien also made a Bandcamp page, and he put that stuff on there. And he made 2 EPs because it's like 2 different recordings.
Right.
And so like we just kind of had like this music available to the public dump. It's just like,
right.
There's
so you put it all out in 2020.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay, but it was all with the 2 5-track EPs were both recorded in 2020. Because I know that the one that Chelsea did was recorded in 2018.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Sounds right.
Okay. But so you just kind of so you all dumped it in 2020 just because there was nothing else going on. Why not just put it out? You were
yeah. Let's do. It's something. Like,
yeah.
It's just something to stay in existence.
Yeah.
As a band,
Right. Well, that's great. I mean, you know, it's weird how kind of like necessity kind of prompts these sparks of motivation, and I mean this is a great little record. So the other one that you did, I recorded at the same time, I assume, the 2020. I just bought that last night, but it's only in digital.
Right. Yeah.
And that's a great song. That's a great little album too, like a little
thanks.
EP.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like one of the things I'm doing to keep myself busy is I'm just pimping this thing out as hard as I can. It's
Right.
like, and I've had some success with it.
That's good.
Like we got like 200 copies pressed, and when you press that few, I should say, they're expensive.
Right.
So it's like I got to sell them at like $7 a piece to just not lose money.
Right.
And you're gonna lose money because you give some money away for free.
Right.
Just trying to promote, just trying to get it in the hands of people that will maybe, I give it to this guy, he'll probably tell 20 people it's great.
Right.
Or it sucks, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever he tells them.
Well, you have gotten some good press. I mean, you got Rob's thing. Peter Prescott kind of heralded it on
that
Facebook.
was really nice of him. That was unexpected and really cool because I really like Mini Beast. Those guys are fucking awesome.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I love
it. As a drummer, I don't really give a fuck about drummers. I feel like they're all kind of just doing their job.
Yeah.
But the guy at Mini Beast, that guy's fucking amazing.
I get a hard on every time I see him.
That guy's like his own psychedelic show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just go to watch him, really.
Yeah. It's super impressive. He's a really nice guy too. So
yeah.
That always
Keith,
helps.
right? Keith,
yeah.
Seidel, right? All right. Well, let's get into Cheater Slicks.
Oh yeah.
So, the little that I know about Cheater Slicks, because there's not really that much to find out about this record specifically. Okay, so they've been around since like 1987. Originated in Boston, Massachusetts, and kind of went through a couple of like band lineups for that first.
Very early on.
Yeah, for the first record, basically they had what's his name, Merle Allen.
They had
from G.G. Allen's brother.
Yeah.
They had him on bass for the first recording, and that was very short lived. Like
they had some dude from like I think the Real Kids.
Yeah.
After that, for like a minute.
That sounds right.
But yeah, that's like just the first album.
Yep. And so then basically they kind of did without the bass player, and just kind of kept the two guitars and drums.
Yeah, it's two brothers and like their best friend.
Yes, Tom and Dave Shannon.
Yeah. And then Dana Hatch.
Dana Hatch is the drummer.
Yeah.
Correct. But yeah, so kind of garage punk stuff, like kind of has been known as grease punk.
Ooh,
I've
never heard that term, but I like that.
Yeah, it's all these like weird little like genres that cover that genre of like garage rocky, psychobilly type stuff. There's a whole bunch of names that kind of died out that never really kind of caught on.
Yeah, I mean, I would just call it garage punk.
Yeah,
because I mean they're full on like fans of the '60s garage scene.
Of
course. It's like when I was, like I was saying, my friend Adam Stonehouse, who turned me on to these guys, like he turned me on to the Sonics, the Wailers, like all those like Pacific Northwest badasses in the '60s that were like taking the garage rock thing to like this more manic level, considering the times,
Yeah, it's loose. It's totally loose.
Yeah. So
very raw.
So I was like getting into that stuff, and then after a while, if you really get into that stuff, I mean, there's just it seems like the '60s is a decade that just you could try to find '60s stuff for the rest of your life, and you'll still find new stuff. That just everybody was in a fucking band. Everybody was,
Yeah, kind of like now.
That's probably true, but in a good band, I should say.
Okay, that's where they that's where they had the leg up.
Yeah.
Well, there was I can't. It's so strange to think that, because it seems like it was so hard to be in a band back then. Like just instruments were expensive. Like they were rare.
No, I feel like they were
hard
cheap
to come by. Well, cost of living was different. I mean,
yeah.
they cost like $10, $25, $50 or something. But that's from the cost of living. I mean, you're earning How much? Like a week? Like
well, I mean, it's like, I mean, that's just going into whole economics of America at that time. It's like cars were cheap, houses were cheap. You know, it was it was a good time to be an American. You know, if you're white. You know,
that's any time.
Well,
that's not just them.
You know, like people in middle class homes had summer homes. You know, that's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, it's so weird.
You know, like you'd have a beach house, and that wasn't like that wasn't a sign of wealth. It was just like, oh, you have a job,
right?
So you could afford a summer home or a beach house. You know, now that's a sign of total wealth. Yeah,
total wealth.
Yeah,
guys are fucking living it up. So where's your beach house?
Same place that's my winter house.
It's my summer and
it's my
winter home.
all-purpose house. When I was getting all that 60s stuff, I was also getting into like the 90s garage kind of punk revival, Oblivions, Gories, Cheater Slicks. That was kind of like my holy trinity at the time. You know, it was just kind of like raw blues punk stuff. And thinking about this conversation we're having, you know, I was just kind of thinking to myself, like, what is it about, you know, because when I was offered this opportunity, and thank you, by the way.
Oh, of course. Thank you.
To come in, just like grab a microphone and spill my purse about my favorite fucking album. It's like, you know, it was hard to choose.
I'm sure.
It's really hard to choose.
It always is hard.
You know, the first thing you said was like, don't choose Funhouse. Everybody chooses Funhouse.
Well, I can't keep on doing that record.
Yeah. No, I totally understand. I'm like, oh yeah, I bet everybody. Yeah, it seems like it's a great fucking record.
I think it's a lot of people's go-to. Like as soon as you ask, they're like, "What about Funhouse?" Be like, "Can't."
Yeah, like the 10th guy that wants Funhouse. So you should be like, so besides Funhouse, what's your next favorite record?
Right.
And it's like, so I don't know, I went through this like mental voyage where I was like trying to think, you know, like what were the bands I heard at what time and what influence did that have? And it came down to like a few that I had to really choose between. And one, like Ween was one of them that like I heard in high school, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Every song's like another band, you know, like it's just totally bizarre.
Right.
These guys are on all kinds of the right drugs. And that's another thing, when you identify, when you're like, well, at least for me, it's like when you're like doing a bunch of drugs in your teens and 20s and you're hearing music, you're like, oh, these guys do the same drugs I do, you know? And then you're like, you hear something else, you're like, those guys are doing different drugs than me. I don't get that. I don't know what they're doing. You know?
Strange.
Like I don't get rave music. I don't do those drugs.
Yeah, no.
You know, but I bet if I did those drugs, maybe I'd understand it better.
You might like the rave. Yeah.
For sure. But like, so like Ween was one. Mudhoney definitely was like the first. Was like, you know, pre-Nirvana. It was like the first like grunge band I ever heard, and then the next band that like really was like made a huge impact on me was the John Spencer Blues Explosion.
Oh, okay.
I heard that. A friend of mine worked at a record store. I remember he picked me up in his mom's like Astro. You remember the Chevy Astro vans? Weird. And he had this 3-song cassette that was like a record store promotional thing. Yeah. And it was for Extra Width.
Oh.
And he's like, picked me up and in the car, and we're taking off. I'm like before we even got like out of my driveway, I was like, what the fuck is this? This is amazing. You know, and it's like all the sounds you wanted, but you didn't know you wanted them. You know, I was like, tell me more about this. What is this? What's going on here? Right. And in the garage punk scene, people love John Spencer and fucking hate him. So it's he's like this really controversial artist in that scene, because a lot of people see him as a total fucking hack and real corny. Right. And then other people are like, I don't know, man. Fucking sounds awesome to me. Yeah. And I belong to the, I don't know, man, sounds fucking awesome to me crew. And that's why this album is great, because he produced it. Yes. And so it's produced by John Spencer. He's all over the fucking thing. I mean, which is why it's a really interesting album, because the Cheater Slicks didn't like this album. Like, right. When it got put out, they're like, this isn't really what we sound like. Yeah. You know? And John Spencer, there's like a whole song with just John Spencer just kind of like talking over it. Right. And I mean, whatever. I think it sounds cool. I'm down with Camp Spencer, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely something I wanted to mention. So let's go ahead and put on a little bit of the first track, Feel Free. All right, so that was Feel Free. So, like you were saying about, this being produced by John Spencer, he's all over it. And have you listened to some of the other records by Cheater Slicks, or is this the only
Oh
one?
yeah, I own like
You own all of them?
fucking 15 records. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So obviously you know their catalog, you know what what they really sound like.
Yeah, and I don't think it's so drastically off that it's like a bad representation. I feel like I think it's their most successful record because John Spencer's name's on it, and I think that they went from like pretty much total obscurity to being on a record store in every cool record store in 1995, and they're like, everyone's so guarded about their sound. I mean, I can understand that. Like, your band, you've played with these guys for fucking years, and then some guy produces you and they puts out this record, and you're like, that's not even what we fucking sound like. But if you could have a little, if you could stand back from the situation and look at it and be like, that's a fucking killer record. And I happen to know, because I'm from a future time, you're going to put out 15 fucking albums, so your sound is going to be represented,
Right.
And they ended up putting out, in my opinion, their worst album right after this, which was a double CD. So I don't think it's even on it record, because it'd be like 4 records or something. And it's like, there's like 3 good songs on it.
Oh.
And it's I think they just like desperately wanted to capitalize on that success of that record and get their sound out.
Right.
Is my guess. I don't know these dudes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like their most successful record came out, which I like a whole lot. I like the albums before them. And then like their worst album came out, just a fucking ton of songs that like nobody edited anything. It's like let's not make this a double CD. Let's make this an album, and it'll be cool.
Right.
But it's just like 50 fucking songs or some shit. Jesus. And then that could be a huge exaggeration. But and then every album after that I think is really great.
Okay.
And every album before Cheater Slicks Don't Like You is really good. Their first album is not my favorite of their albums, but like from the second album on, you can't go wrong. They're all great.
Yeah. I've listened to some of them. I've listened to Refried Dreams.
Yeah. It's got that song In This Town. I love that fucking song.
It's a pretty good album, and I think that it sounds completely different from this one.
Yeah. In This Town's this great song. It sounds like you're tripping while you're drunk. Like,
yeah.
I say they do the same drugs as me. What can I say?
There you go. Yeah. That's why you love them so much. So, and then I also listened to your last album.
Yeah. Good.
That one's good. I remember reading an article that ended up on the floor over here about they mentioned that record being the one that was the most depressing. So I was just like, I got to listen to that. Because those are the drugs that I'm on.
Because these are uplifting times, and you can take a little depression.
No, well, first of all, I've been listening to this like for I've been listening to this a lot lately. So I figured I could
you could take it.
I could take the time to like change the mood a little bit, and it's not that different. It's just a little like more drony. It's still kind of got the same style. It's still the same style of music. It's just it's a little louder, like it's beefed up guitars, and it's just a little slower.
Yeah,
that's kind of pretty much it. I guess the lyrical content's a little dismal, but I don't really listen to words for the most part.
Well, I think one of the great things about this band that I heard, especially at the time that I was introduced to it, I was like, I'd just been forced to play the drums a little bit, and like I'd forced to sing a little bit, and I think that the whole appeal to all the lo-fi bands in general is it seems so obtainable.
Yeah,
like I could do this.
Yeah.
You listen to like a Michael Jackson album and you're like, well, this is like production out the ass, and this guy could sing like a motherfucker. Like this is rock god level stuff, or
right.
Showbiz level stuff. And then you listen to Cheater Slicks, and even like John Spencer, it's like, okay, like Judah Bauer, Russell Simmons, like those guys are phenomenal players. And then John Spencer brings all the swagger,
right.
And he's got a good voice too.
Yeah.
And so I was really into those guys, and then I found out about the Cheater Slicks, and it's like, this is something I could, not that I could play these songs right now, but I could fathom playing these songs this good. Their singing isn't that great. Like
No.
they don't have good voices.
No.
But they're
not.
genuine.
Yeah.
You know, they're like real deal. There's some songs where I'm like, I fucking applaud the bravery of this dude. He's just like belting out these songs, you know, like holding notes that
not holding notes.
well,
Smearing notes.
okay, he's holding a sound.
Yeah.
You know, he's like he's not just like barking words.
Right.
You know, he's like trying to sing.
Yeah.
And
it's that putting like overextending yourself singing wise.
It's so raw. It's so fucking raw.
Like he cracks in a couple of places, and it's just and they just leave it because it's just that's just how he's gonna do it.
Yeah, and even when he does it well, it's still shit.
Yeah,
you know, it's like like he's not a good singer. And you know, I was under the impression that Dana Hatch sang a bunch of songs because he's credited for vocals on it. Yeah. And I found out later that he only sings like one or two of them
on this album.
Yeah, well, in any of their albums,
like
he sings a few.
Right.
And I thought that was really cool because I was, hey, I'm a drummer. I just sang a song, and yeah, I could do this. You know, like I could contribute to this. And it's like the idea of being in a band and playing drums and singing. It's like I'm doing everything I can do. You know, and I like that idea. I like everybody in the band to sing. Personally,
yeah.
You know,
so that's what Songbirds is doing right now because everyone is credited as singing. Though
Zach doesn't sing a song on the 7-inch.
Okay,
but I think he might do one on Chelsea's recordings.
Okay,
he sang one song at one point, and then we just kind of stopped playing that song
because it was that bad.
No, I mean, I don't even remember why, but I don't think he cares that. You know, to not sing.
So who sings the song "Time Pulls the Trigger"?
Damien.
That's Damien. Okay, yeah. I was trying to figure it out because, like, you know, I don't know Damien's singing voice aside from like the songs in Tall Teenagers, and even listening to that, there's so much like joint harmony with Chelsea that it kind of
it works really well together.
It's great, but it kind of just clouds his like the actual sound of his voice, so I couldn't make it out too well, and he doesn't sound like himself when he sings, I guess. He's got a different like tone to his voice when he sings, so that's why I couldn't figure out who that was singing. I couldn't figure out who was singing these songs unless it was you, because I know your voice. I'm just like, okay, that's Matt.
Yeah,
and I love those songs. All those songs are super fun.
Oh, well,
so
thank you.
Yeah. Well, that was actually going to be one of my questions. Was like, so how do you guys write songs, and like who writes the songs?
We all do.
Together.
Yeah, we all do.
So how do you decide who
generally
sings the songs?
Somebody will come in with a riff.
Yeah.
You know, is generally sometimes it's a lot of spontaneity. Like I say, like I love being in the woodshed. I love just like we're in here, a beat happens, a riff happens, something starts, and some people join in, and it either becomes monotonous and boring and we bail on it, or it really fucking comes into something. And sometimes we've got like these bizarre occasions where I'm like, was somebody fucking recording that? Because that doesn't even sound like it came from this band at all, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, a 30-second tidbit we'll have a recording of, and we're like, I don't even know what to do with this.
Yeah.
And we, you know, sometimes we don't do anything with it, but it's just like that's the fun shit for me.
Right.
It's like, this sounds like a fucking disco band. Like,
so
where the fuck
how
that
do
come
you
from?
how do you decide who sings the song?
Some of it's like, I came up with the song, here's the riff, I don't know where to go with it, but I've got some lyrics. Or we'll jam and someone just starts singing. Even if they don't have quote unquote lyrics, they know how the melody's going to go.
Yeah. And
they just start kind of barking it out there, even if some of the words are just a repetition or fluff, total fluff. That's a good word for it. Yeah, and it's like, you know, like there's been like "Time Pulls the Trigger" was an example of a song that we played, and that's unlike all of our other songs. It's very different from all other songs.
Dude, it's the Freebird of the song.
Yeah. It's like we've only played that song live like 2 or 3 times, and everyone's like, "Where the fuck did that thing come from?"
Came from Leonard Skinner.
Yeah. I don't know.
That was your inspiration, I could tell.
No, but but it's like one of those things where like we played it, and people were like, and you know, the band was like, "Oh, that was kind of weird, kind of cool," and I was like, I really like that. I'm gonna write lyrics for it because I want to keep. Because if I write lyrics for it, then then we have to play it, you know. And then I came in, and I was like, I got some lyrics for that, and Damien's like, I got some lyrics too. I'm like, cool, go with yours. Go with yours. You know, like there's some songs where I'm like, I don't know, man. I think I got a grip on this thing. And that one I was like, I just wanted it to exist.
Right.
And I wasn't real super confident in my lyrics. And he was
okay.
like, I got some lyrics too. I'm like, you're the man. Go
Cool.
for it. And they ended up being infinitely better than my lyrics anyway. And
we'll never know now, but that's...
we do know.
All right.
And I like the fact that he sings very different than I do. You know?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, so you're saying that everyone kind of takes a crack at singing in the band. So
yeah, Glenn sings a song on that 7-inch.
Yeah, so I can't tell
awesome.
I can't tell who's who. I can only tell that maybe it's somebody different.
I love that.
And that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
that's a success.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get into the next song. There's a Girl. All right. That's a good song. That's a fun song for sure. So There's a Girl. Absolutely fucking fun song. Very rocking.
It's got these great guitar like sounds like Dave Shannon is the lead guitar player, I would say.
He does the solos.
He doesn't sing, and the guy's fucking awesome. He's a really good guitar player, and I think between John Spencer and Cheer Slicks, it must have formed my I don't ever need to play with a bass player. Like I've never been in a band with a bass player, and
makes sense. Sounds about right.
And then everybody I've been in a band with is like, yeah, you have been, because like in Black Clouds, Glenn played guitar, but he's like, I play bass. You know, I was like, no, but it's on a guitar, so you could do other shit, which he would do.
Yes.
I'm like, see, you can't do that on a fucking bass, and he's like, all right, whatever, technically.
Well, yeah, it's like the Judah Bauer thing of the Blues Explosion, where is it him that does the bass lines?
No, Judah Bauer was the talent.
He's the lead. Okay,
and
so
then
John
Spencer would lay down a rhythm and like all kinds of skronk and wails and shit.
Right. But so he basically does like the thudded out like bass line that's kind of like, you know, the rhythm with the drums.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely like a bass line, even though it's played on guitar.
I mean, it's kind of weird. John Spencer is an anomaly in the three beats because it's basically Judah Bauer and Russell Simmons playing, and then John Spencer just kind of adding whatever. You know, I mean, in the recordings it's a little different, but if you ever seen him live, it's like there's occasions, there's like halfway through a song he still hasn't touched his guitar, you know, or he's just like left it humming, so it's got the feedback quality going, which is fucking cool. I mean, it's just, you know, you could do that when you got an awesome two-piece behind you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I never got to see them play live.
Oh, yeah.
So
they played at the German club in Pawtucket. And I saw them a bunch of times when I lived in Illinois. I went to Chicago and saw them a bunch of times.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, you know, during like the Matador years.
When they were mid to late 90s, right?
Yeah. Like when they Extra With, Orange.
Yeah.
You know, and like, you know, that they were fantastic shows. They played great. And then like I saw them at the German Music Hall, and I was like, or German, I don't even, it's not music hall, German private.
It's something like the German beer. It's like the German beer club, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, in Pawtucket.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Weird ass place and a weird semi-residential neighborhood.
Yeah. They have this awesome Bavarian backdrop painted on the back of the stage. It's the coolest. It's the coolest fucking backdrop I've seen. But anyway, they played, and didn't miss a fucking beat. It was amazing. And they played Greyhound, which is this instrumental that I always really liked. But, you know, they don't play it live. It's an instrumental. Yeah. But they played it that night. And then later on, I saw Judah Bauer walking around. I was like, It's like, hey man, great show, Oh, thanks. I was like, you guys play Greyhound, and I've always loved that song, and I've seen you guys play a bunch of times, never seen that before, and just thanks for playing it. He's like, oh yeah, see, I wrote that on when I was taking a bunch of heroin. I was like, oh, is that the trick? I hear that stuff's great for writing songs. He's like, it is. My suggestion is you do a bunch of heroin, just don't get addicted. I was like, there's the rub.
There you go.
There's the rub. I was like, okay, thanks, Judah Bauer. Thanks for your advice.
So when did you get into heroin?
I'm lazy. I haven't gotten into it yet, but there's time.
I've done it once.
Really?
I've done it once.
What was it like?
It was like you can do no wrong.
Yeah.
I think we smoked it.
Smoked it?
Yeah. I was with this
I didn't know
girl.
it was an option.
I was with this girl who had a habit, and I didn't know it.
Uh-huh.
And I wasn't dating her. We were friends, but we were like hanging out.
Uh-huh.
And got taken to this weird place, like right off Broadway.
Never happens in a normal place.
It was a fucking strange ass place. So she went there to score, and so we kind of like got high while we were there. So I was just like, yeah, okay, sure. And like I think we were smoking it off something. Yeah.
Like you thought you were smoking weed, but
No. I knew what we were doing. I was just like,
I'm fully aware.
Yeah. I was just like, okay, all right, fine, fuck it, let's try it.
Yeah.
And that was the only one time, and that was basically because of that. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I didn't have a hankering afterwards anyway, but I do
that's
remember.
not how addiction works. It's like,
Well, because like, I think the stipulation or the mindset is that if you do it once, you're going to get hooked and you're going to want to do it again. It's kind of like like crack, where if you do crack, it's just like you immediately want that high again.
I think it's all about the availability to you too.
That's a huge thing for me. It's like if it's not available to me, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Like I don't go seeking it out,
Right.
Like I've done coke too, but it's like I've only done it out of like, convenience.
Well, if somebody put like a gun to my head and was like, you better do some heroin right now, I'd be like, I don't know where to get any heroin. Like, fucking pull the trigger, dude. I don't know. Like,
put it in front of me and I'll do it. But I mean, I'm not going out.
I'm not going out looking for shit.
I don't know who to ask.
It's late.
It's one of those things.
It's
like,
late. I gotta work tomorrow.
I'm gonna ask some. Like, who am I gonna ask?
I'm gonna ask my most scumbag friend. Like, I'll just,
It's like you know somebody, right? Like I'm not saying you carry. I'm just saying somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was it. And So what happened was there was like some weird shitty piano in this place that we were at, and of course I was just like, I gotta write a song. I gotta play a song.
Yeah, you're on heroin.
And like,
do the thing.
They're all like sitting behind me. These few people, 3-4 people, and they're all just like mesmerized by what I'm doing. I'm just like,
you're a god.
I'm amazing. I can do this. And I don't know how to play piano at all.
It's one of those things. You take off the rose tinted glasses, and it's like plink plonk, plink plonk. I suck. Ding dong.
Sober guy walks in, just like, what are you guys fucking looking at?
What are you doing to that piano? Stop it.
It's like, that's way out of tune. It's missing strings. Seriously, it really was. It was like this dilapidated thing. It was like falling apart. So that's basically what. Yeah, that's probably
genius.
What Judah's talking about.
Pure genius.
Yeah, you can't go wrong on it. It's just like you. I don't know. Fake it till you make it until it actually does become something that actually works. I don't know. All these guys on heroin that write music is just like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it again. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm not worried.
No. I don't have time for that shit. I can't even fucking. I can barely get stoned these days.
Yeah. I can get stoned, but I have to call the person and go get the thing.
I gotta be home with my kids. What are you fucking?
Yeah.
I'm not doing that shit. It's crazy.
Yeah, your kids are old enough to be like, "Are you stoned?"
I think my son called me.
Oh, really?
It's like, Dad, why are your eyes red? It's just like they've been really itchy. I don't know. I think I've got like
I got double pink eye.
Something like that. Yeah.
I've been rubbing a lot of shit in my eyes.
It's like I got something in my eye. I've just been rubbing at it like all night. Let's skip on to Motherload.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that song. That's good.
That's a fucking bombastic track. That's the kind of shit like.
There's no liner notes at all.
No,
this is it. This is just the songs.
It's
sides.
a cover. It's a cover by Art Chantry, actually. I don't know how you pronounce that. Probably doing it wrong, but
no, I don't know. I'll have to look it up. But either way, I mean, there's no information.
No, I mean, it tells you who did the record. I think it gives a year.
Yeah. I mean, it's the very basic.
It's bare bones, man.
Yeah.
And it's like the last song on this. I think it's the last song, "Mystery Ship." Is that the last song?
Yes.
So that song is fucking amazing, and I only learned that was a cover like 2-3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
I was like, what? And the cover is like exactly the same, and it's by some band called the Mystic Tide, I think.
Okay.
Out of the 60s, a band nobody's ever fucking heard of,
course,
but you're a band in the 60s. You're apparently awesome. And they made a song, and it's kind of sang the same way because, like we were just discussing, his voice is not exactly stellar.
No.
And like the original guy's voice is not exactly stellar.
Well, that's the thing about this type of music is that it is a throwback to some of that early 60s garage style music, which back then wasn't garage music. It was just rock and roll.
Yeah.
So it's not unfathomable that they were recreating something exactly because that's what inspired them to kind of write this music that they're doing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean that makes sense.
And I mean,
I'll listen to it eventually. I guess I'll find it.
Yeah, I mean it's on like Spotify and shit. It's easy to find.
Yeah.
But I mean, just this album and like the band itself was just, like I said, it seemed not only obtainable, but like something to. It's like I could strive for this and obtain it, and I don't want to like be a Cheers Six cover band, but it's like if I just play a little bit better than I'm playing, like I could sound as awesome as this,
right?
Because this band sounds fucking awesome to me, and like it sounds fun.
Oh yeah.
And like it sounds real, like it doesn't sound like, all right, this is take 27, it's like this is take maybe 3 and we're fucking cutting it, it's
right.
like it's like I like garage music and I like punk music, but I don't have a lot of there's a lot of punk music that doesn't appeal to me, like the speed. There's like certain characteristics of punk in general that like certain adjectives that don't, like the speed is unimportant to me.
Right.
And like if you put the word snotty as an adjective towards describing your music, I don't give a fuck about it. Like that, like all the posturing and the sneering and all that shit, I don't give a fuck about that stuff.
Right.
That stuff's lame. But garage can, if you have like some Teenage Shutdown albums or something, I mean, they all kind of blend into like this similar sound, which is a good sound, but there's tons of it. You don't need to redo that stuff. But this stuff, it's like some of it's fast, but a lot of it's like this kind of mid-tempo stuff that's just like, I don't know, I get it. It's like the Cramps. It's
more blues oriented.
Like the Cramps were very rarely fast at all.
Right.
It's like, it's all like, honestly, you could fucking dance to any Cramps songs.
Oh yeah.
And it's another band that I was like, should I just do a fucking Cramps song? But I mean, eventually you're going to hit somebody that's going to want to do a Cramps song.
I would assume so.
You're not going to hit anybody that wants to do a fucking Cheers Slicks album.
It's true. Probably not. I'm going to reach out to these guys myself, and I'm going to let them know.
Yeah. Well, it's like one of those things where it's like, it's not like it's my favorite album of all time. It's like a different question. It's like because I was telling you, like, I'm having trouble deciding. You're like, just narrow it down to the band that influenced you. Right. And it's like, there's just no fucking doubt. It was the first band I thought of when you asked me about this. It was like, oh, Cheers Slicks. It's like, well, maybe I should, I mean, I was listening to Suicide on the way over here, and I'm like, this is a fucking amazing band.
That's coming up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Somebody's got that?
Yes.
All right. So as long as somebody's got it covered.
Next week.
Oh, yeah? Who's that? Who's doing that?
I don't want to say.
Ooh.
I don't want to say right now.
All right. Tell me later.
Yeah.
All right. So, but yeah, like these are fucking phenomenal bands. Like, like Damien was on here. He was talking about Velvet Underground. And Funhouse is already done.
That was my fault.
How's it a fault?
Back then, the guests that were on, I had them come on because I had a record.
Oh, you were assigning records.
I was assigning the record, basically.
Well, yeah. I mean, my point still stands. It's a great fucking band, great albums. Funhouse, great album. Mm-hmm. Suicide, like super influential. And it's like, all right, I'm just gonna do my, like, what influenced me. That's kind of interesting. I mean,
well, it makes
I don't
sense.
know who wants to listen to it.
It makes sense. You know what?
Who wants to listen to me talk about it? But, you know.
No, but that's the thing, is it's like, okay, so what I've realized about, you know, kind of having this show is that this is more of like a psychology, like a psychological exploration into the musician and why they create what they create. So the question is, when did you get exposed to Cheater Slicks?
Like probably like 96.
So it was
97
like when this record came out in 95.
Yeah. So like, I mean, I you know, like I didn't hit the ground running with it. Somebody showed it to me.
Right.
And it was probably like, like 96, 97, something
96,
like that.
97. So you're like 21, 22,
Yeah.
23 almost?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
And so, and this is like right at the time that you're starting to play the drums.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you're listening to this and you're like, I can do this. This is something that I can aspire towards, because just like you were saying, these guys aren't polished musicians.
Yeah,
this is something that I know I can do, like, even if I don't practice too much. Like from this point where
It's
I'm just
feasible.
starting.
Like,
yeah.
like this is, like I said,
An
it's
obtainable goal.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's not like it's an obtainable goal and then I should get better than that. It's like, I mean, I've been playing drums for a while now,
right.
And I don't think I'm any better. You know what I mean? It's like I got to a point where I'm like, this is what I wanted to do.
This is what you're doing.
This is what I want to do.
Right.
And it's like I'm sure if I really hunkered down and like tried, I could be as good as the dude in Mini Beast, you know.
No.
But it's like that's
No, you can't.
well, well, just theoretically I could.
Yeah. No,
But,
you can.
but I'm not going to, because I mean,
you don't want to.
because I'm also doing other. You know, it's not my passion to become a great drummer.
No, you
know,
want to do
it's
some like punk rock and roll shit, and that's what this is, and that's what you do.
Yeah.
You're doing exactly what you want to do. So
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is a perfect example of like music that influenced you and kind of like informed your art.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's a completely different topic to say, like, okay, music that informed your physical art.
Mm-hmm.
That's totally different, because you're an artist as well. That's not a question I'm trying to get into right now. That's for another day. And you did the art for your new album.
Right.
This is something that you did.
Yeah, that's super fancy, because I involved photographs that I Xeroxed and chopped up and.
In the lettering of the band name.
Yeah.
You have
all
you
those
can see
handsome
the pictures.
models
Yeah.
that are there.
It's a good thing you distorted them as well as you did.
No, they're just naturally that
There's
fugly.
Xerox, just that Xerox like white and blanked out, like bleached out like look to it. No, it's great. I love the art. You're a very good artist.
I didn't want anyone's handsomeness to outshine another's, you know.
Right. Yeah. It's all equal, right? You're all equal songwriter partnership.
That's
like,
right.
Yeah.
It's a band.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That led me to want to ask you a question, actually. I didn't know if there was something that stuck out to you, like being like the newbie in town, you know, exploring the music scene, something like that, or even just being out at bars or something, because that's where we all fucking hung out.
Well, it was like, okay, so in Illinois, people are naturally friendly. In Rhode Island, people are not naturally friendly.
No, we don't give a fuck.
No, everyone is very. I thought they were assholes for like years. I was like, wow, everyone here is just kind of an asshole. And I realized later that they're just suspicious. It's not that they're assholes. It's just that there's a lot of like, I know that guy's a crackhead, but I know he's a crackhead. I don't know what your deal is. So I'm going to keep you at arm's length. I know he's a crackhead. I know what to do with that. Right. I don't know what to do with you.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that. And
waiting for people to expose themselves to you, like expose the level of crazy that they're at.
Yeah.
Oh, this person's not someone
so
I want to hang out.
I was here about 5 years, and then things started. Like I had a group of friends in a community that, that I felt comfortable with. But yeah, the first several years, I'm like, man, people are fucking unfriendly dicks around here. And it's funny, like you walk down the street in my hometown, you just acknowledge everyone that walks by you. A nod,
right.
a hello, a good evening, something. You acknowledge that a person walked by you. And here, that's not done. And if you do that, like I did,
everyone looks at you like
everyone looks at you like you're like, what the fuck do you want? That was the look I got 100 times a day. What the fuck do you want? And so, and especially like walking to bars at night, if you walk across like a woman and you're like, I'm not going to say hello.
No.
I'm not going to say hello.
No.
Hello. Like, fuck, why did I do that?
She like starts running from screaming.
Like, what the hell? Yeah, she get like you could see the tenseness of the shoulders, and I'm like, fuck. Like, why did I say hello?
So I'm from the Midwest.
Yeah, I'm not from here. Hello. Yeah, but
that would probably be your saving grace. Be like, I'm from the Midwest, and they'd be like, oh, okay, never mind, you're okay.
yeah. so that was that was a jarring thing about being here, but
I'm surprised you made it as long.
Well, I mean, the art scene, like, I mean, where I came from, it's people are very nice, but they're also kind of boring. You know, I mean, there's not a huge scene. There was like I remember I was a dishwasher in this restaurant when I was like 16, 17, and like everybody in that restaurant was in a band, and they were touring, and like you know that band Hum.
Yeah.
Okay, so like the lead singer, guitar player, like he worked in that restaurant.
What?
Yeah, his name's Matt. He was like he'd gone to school to be a teacher, and he's like, this music thing doesn't pan out. I can always be a teacher. It's like cool. As I'm smoke a joint with you by the dumpster, and then like he went on to like
Rural MTV for a little while.
Yeah, definitely did better than most.
Yeah.
And like I think he has like a recording studio outside of our hometown now.
Okay,
and
well,
like,
sure,
yeah,
probably.
Just doing stuff.
They're still recording. They just put out a new record, I guess.
Well, there you go.
Fairly new. I mean, it's not brand new, but
yeah. Matt Talbert, I think his name was.
I don't know. I've never been a huge fan. I liked that record, that big
I'm
record.
not a fan of the music, but the guy is super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, it's not to.
But then that all went away when I became old enough. Fuck! I keep punching this.
Stop punching my mic.
So I talk with my hands. Yeah, that all went away when I became old enough to go to bars.
Right.
Like that whole scene just died.
Right. I get it. Let's move on to the sensitive side. Speaking of
now,
which,
that's the John Spencer thing that everybody fucking hates.
Yeah,
but I don't really mind. I feel like the tracks before it are so fucking bombastic that it's like kind of nice to have this cool down thing.
It breaks it up a little bit, but like it's not even like at the end of the side.
Oh no.
So,
but it lends itself. Go ahead and play it.
All right. I remember when I was listening to this song, I was just like, I kind of have to talk like that into the mic. Just talk like this.
And see, when I wasn't living around here when I first heard that. I always thought it was the River Chow. I was like, oh, the River Chow. Interesting.
The River Chow.
The River Chow. But so like, okay, so this is the time to really address John Spencer's footprint on this album because he stomps down hard there, and it's like this is when like. A lot of purists are like, fuck him, and I get that because he just smears himself all over this fucking album. But like it goes to like, I feel like it's really helped me form my opinions about how an album and even a set list should be made. Like the sequence, the sequence, like give them like if everything's at 10, it's the same thing as everything's at 5. It's like if there's no ups and downs, if there's no fluctuation,
peaks and valleys,
it's all just it's all maxed out, it's all a blur. You just start off strong and then you chill for a minute so that when you come back it means something, and that's exactly what it does in this album.
Okay.
And he's got like the acoustic guitar on this song. I mean, this is probably not a song of theirs as much as just he caught a jam session.
Well, I know that for a fact. So the other time that John Spencer shows up lyrically or vocally on this record is at the very end for a bonus track, like a hidden track, where it's he does that prank call to like a record store.
I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. That's not on the record.
Oh no?
No,
Oh, it's just on the digital.
I guess.
Okay, so it might be on the digital format. There's a
A prank call.
It was a throwaway track.
Yeah.
The band Cheater Slicks did not want to use it. They didn't. It was an instrumental. They didn't know what to do with it, so they were like, but John Spencer really liked it. So he was just like, okay, I'm gonna like put something over this. And so what he did is he prank called a record store.
Yeah.
And that was
What's
what
he
ended
say?
up doing. It's actually pretty fucking stupid. It's really not that good. He's just like, he calls Carmi Records in Boston. And he's just like, oh hi, okay, so yeah, my niece really wanted some records. Do you have a record by this band called the Smashing Pumpkins? That
Oh,
sounds,
I think I have heard that.
that's silly.
I have
That
heard
sounds
that.
silly. Yeah.
I have
So
heard
that's
I
that.
didn't even know that was related to this record, though.
I guess it was like the digital release of this record, maybe
Oh,
on the
that's
CD.
funny.
But so the digital, because I've been listening to the digital, because I don't have the copy of this. So I've heard that, I've been listening to it, and like that's the throwaway track. And so basically the band didn't want to use it. They had no desire to use it. It was this instrumental that they had nothing to do with, and so he absorbed it and like put this stupid vocal over it. And
Yeah, I mean,
and so that's kind of
drunk
like
with power kind of thing.
kind of yeah. I mean, so I don't know. So you were saying how the shit, I forget, I lost it already. The peaks and valleys.
Yeah. So like he's got. I mean, and no other album. I mean, maybe there's a song I'm just not thinking of, but it's definitely not a prevalent thing for there to be acoustic guitar on.
Oh, that's the song. The next song that has acoustic guitar on it. That's why.
So this has a guitar, and then so does Spanish Rose, which is
Okay.
the first song on the second side, and it sounds great. It's not it's not chill like this thing is. It's like it's a more high energy song, but it's got an acoustic guitar over it, and it's like that only happened because Spencer produced this record.
Oh yeah.
And I just think it's a really good choice for that song, and I think he makes. I don't know. I like John Spencer. I think he makes good choices. Maybe he's an arrogant fuck. I don't know him personally.
Yeah.
Whatever. People seem to have a lot of hate for him, but people
I
hate
don't-
people for all sorts of reasons that don't make any sense to me.
Well, that's true. I don't hate him. I like John Spencer. I like the music that he does. I like his band. I like the Spencer, the Blues Explosion.
I like Pussy Galore. I like Boss Hog.
I think it's funny though, because I can see where the band feel like this is like their worst album in regards to that, only because he kind of like stamped it so hard.
Yeah, I mean he took it over.
So this is a question I have for you. So if in a circumstance, the band records again, who would be a dream producer for you?
That'd be really hard to say because I have zero experience with
No. I mean, because
anybody producing it.
So think about it this way. So when U2 was getting ready to record Unforgettable Fire.
U2?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not saying this because you like U2. I'm just saying that, a band with a huge budget signed to a major label, so they were approached by their management saying like, who would you like to produce your next record? And their answer was John Lennon. But at the time, I guess what happened? I think, did John Lennon get murdered before that was able to happen? And then they eventually got Brian Eno to produce the record. But the point being is that when you're on a major label, you kind of have an option to just kind of throw something out there like, can we ask this person if they want to do it?
Yeah.
So who would you might want to ask if you could?
I don't know his name, but the guy that's like the producer of the Viagra Boys.
I don't know the Viagra Boys.
Oh, you should check out the Viagra Boys.
I bet they're a fucking party
awesome.
band.
They're super fucking cool. But I
They
think
play
they're
with hard-ons all night.
no, they actually have a lot of songs about doing too many drugs to have hard-ons. Like I think
Because
they have,
in turn they need Viagra.
maybe that's the
I don't have that
inspiration.
problem, so I don't really know. But
Well, maybe. But I mean, actually, besides being an awesome band, I think it's a fucking hilarious name because it's the ultimate not tough guy name, And that's another thing. Oh, shut.
Kind of a limp guy.
Punching this microphone is the thing about Cheer Slicks, and in regards to like punk, is that there's songs I like, and this is an adjective that I only recently thought of because a friend of mine used it to describe my 7-inch, which I was flattered. But it's mean. It's like a mean album, but it's not tough. Like a tough is like not everybody can be tough.
Yeah.
But everybody can be mean.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I would probably go the
at?
opposite. I would actually probably say it's a tough record and it's not mean.
Oh, no?
Because the mean aspects of the record are things that are kind of like jokey. Like
well, like when you're playing Motherload, that guy's like he's playing fast. He's building up the vocals like as hard and fast as he can. Like it's breathy. You know, it's like he's exerting himself to 100%.
Right.
And it's an anger.
That's what I'm saying. That's what's tough.
No, the tough is
that's
like
a toughness
like
about a
I'm
person.
A fucking tough guy.
No, because mean is anyone can say anything that's mean. And you like a dainty princess can say something mean to somebody else, and that's that's the basis of the whole thing. Mean Girls, right? Like the movie Mean Girls is these fucking valley girls that are just mean. They're fucking mean because they're cruel. They know how to hit you in a sensitive spot. Tough is like you are fucking tough. Like you can take a punch and you can give a punch.
Right.
So that's
I
what I'm
don't
saying,
think everybody can do that.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, as far as the adjective describing this record of yours, the 7-inch, I would say it's more tough than it is mean, because mean can be petty. Tough, you can't. Tough, you can't avoid. Tough is something that you are and that you exude, and everyone knows it.
Well, maybe I'm too close to it, but there's no tough guys in this band.
No, it's not about being a tough guy. It's just the persona of the punkness of it, right? So if because all punk is tough, right? All punk is like tough or mean to some degree.
Yeah,
but
I prefer the mean to the tough. Is what I'm getting at.
No, I think
I think the Cheer Slicks
I think it's
put
the
out
opposite.
mean recordings. Well, I think you're fucking wrong, James.
Well, I think you're fucking wrong.
Well, here we are.
Okay.
Thanks for the whiskey.
You know what? I'm gonna fucking take this record. I'm gonna break it. Is that mean or tough?
It's fucking mean.
See? See, because like songs like Creeps, and like Robbery that you sing, and that you actually have videos for on YouTube right now for both of those, which are great.
Yeah, Damien made Robbery. It's fucking awesome.
It is
and
great.
Then Kevin Bowden made
the Creeps video.
Made the Creeps video.
Yeah.
Which was another thing that happened during a pandemic that I probably wouldn't have had time to do. Mm-hmm. But it's like, instead of going to band practice, I'm going to go to Tracy's house and we're going to film this thing. And everyone was super fucking cool and it made it happen and it was fun and easy.
Yeah, and it's a great video. He filmed it really well and it's edited great. Like it's just a fun thing to watch.
Yeah.
To that song, especially because the song covers this story of like creepy guys, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, you talk to any fucking chick they're gonna have a story that completely.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I know that story.
Exactly.
A guy calls from the past. It's like, hey, how you been? Been a long time. You're like, oh, hey, that's nice. I haven't, talked to you in fucking 10 years. How's things going? Show me your tits. It's like, wait, how the fuck did we get here?
Right.
Fucking creeps.
Yeah. Well, we all have our stories, don't we?
I hope so. Or else,
we're all men, and men are fucking creeps.
Fucking so gross.
All right, so here's a story. All right, so I was going to ask you, do you have a story of being a creep?
Oh.
Okay, I'm sure you do.
I mean,
I don't.
Why are you so sure of it?
Because you're a man. You're a fucking man. Of course you do. But I don't want you to be incriminating. But I'm going to share. Look, I'll share you my story first.
I'm pretty open with that kind of stuff. I mean,
I'll share a story with you first, just to show you how creepy fucking guys are.
Okay.
All right. So I'm a mail carrier. I deliver mail. So I walk around neighborhoods.
Carrier.
Yeah, I'm a creep carrier. I'm fucking jerking off while I'm fucking delivering mail with my one free hand. I'm like, no, not even that.
Might as well be doing something.
No, it actually wasn't me being a creep. It was a guy being a creep to me.
Oh.
Well,
you are handsome. I can see how this could go wrong.
Yeah, all right, fucking sure. But so I cover routes for people on their days off.
Yeah.
So I'm on a different route almost every day. So I'm on this girl's route. This young girl. She's not young. She's probably around my age, but she's small. She's petite. She's cute. She's like, And so I go do her route, and like I keep on noticing this guy show up in a red truck. Mm-hmm. Okay, I know this red truck. I see it all the time. And he pulls up to me as I'm walking down the street. It's just like rolls down his window, is just like, "Hey, can I give you my mail?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course, sure, thank you. Yeah, I can take that, no problem." Mm-hmm. He keeps on finding me. I do this route once a week, not every day. Once a week. Keeps on finding.
Is it always the same day of the week?
No, it's a different day of the week.
Oh.
Yeah, even worse.
Yeah.
He finds me.
This is like
He finds me on a dead end road.
Ooh.
I'm on like a dead end road. Like there's no out. There's no out to this road. So there's no reason to go down this road unless there's something you need down this road. He comes to find me to give me mail. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, this is not the first time. So I'm just like,
yeah.
Why don't you just hit a mail can, man?
Yeah.
He's just like, I just always like to give it to a carrier, And it's just like, and
Does he get out of the truck?
And you're a lot better looking than a mail can.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, cool. Like,
well, maybe you should just be flattered and stop acting so stuck up
no,
about it.
I'm flattered, but at the same time, it's fucking creepy, right?
Yeah.
It's like, why would you go out of your way to find a mail carrier when you can just deposit in a can or leave it in your fucking mailbox?
Yeah, there's the whole mailbox thing.
All right, so now tell me your story.
Well, I mean, in regards to that, I have a story about people being creepy to me.
Okay, sure.
But,
sure.
Okay, I went to see, the band The Gossip?
Yes.
Okay. I love that band. I thought they were super fucking awesome.
Yep.
They really changed their style at some point. It kind of lost my interest. But for years, I thought they were a fucking legit band. And that chick can fucking sing like a maniac. Like Beth Ditto, I think her name is.
I don't know them. Like, I don't know the members, but I know the band. I know the music.
I think her name's Beth Ditto, or her stage name or whatever. But anyway, so I'm at the Middle East upstairs, and I go there, and she's gay. The Beth Ditto is, so it's like she has a large following of the gay community, and so there's like a ton of girls there, and I don't know, but it seems just from gauging the room that it's kind of a gay crowd. Like, I don't care, whatever, and I'm sitting there, and like for the first time ever in my life, I'm like, wow, I'm like the chick at the punk rock show, and there's like girls kind of like sizing me up left and right, and not like in a
like I want to fuck you way.
Yeah,
like
but, and not
who
in
the
a,
fuck to you? Like,
and, no, not in like I want to fight you, but I don't know, like just straight up like I'm meat. And since I have the luxury of being a man, I'm like, whatever, like I don't care,
right.
Like I'm not scared or anything like that. It's like whatever. But I was just like, oh, this is kind of weird. This is kind of a different thing. And there was this couple that was next to me, and they're like looking at me and making little marks and jokes, and like I can't really hear exactly what they're saying, but it's very clear they're talking about me. And again, whatever, band's awesome, this is all good. And then and one of them looks over her shoulder at me, and then she reaches behind and she grabs my fucking
junk.
She grabs my junk, and she goes, and this is the strangest things. I don't know what this means in the gay community. Like it seemed like a confliction of thoughts, and she said, "It's time to breed," and I was like, "What?" Like, it was this, and then they laughed, and I was like, "I don't even get that joke."
Wow.
I don't know what that means.
That's much more profound.
I don't feel assaulted, but I mean, whatever. What do I give a fuck? Grab my dick. What do I care?
Yeah.
But I mean, I understand if you were a woman in a crowd full of men and someone reached over and grabbed your fucking crotch, like that's assault.
Of course.
That's a big deal. But since again,
unless you're the president,
of course, well, yeah. Like I have the luxury of being a man and like
and a secure male.
And I'm not worried about I didn't feel for my safety or anything.
Right.
But I was just like, oh, weird. What a reversal of roles and whatever. Just like, so that's like the creepiest thing that's ever happened to me, and even that's like more weird than creepy.
Yeah. Well, see, that goes actually along with the lines with the story that I was telling, because I actually went to the girl that does the route the next day.
Oh yeah.
And I told her the story, and I was just like, I'm sorry. I was like, I'm sorry you deal with this shit all the fucking time. Like, now I get it.
She's like, never happened to me.
No, well, it didn't happen to her with this guy because obviously this guy's fucking gay. But
Yeah.
but that women go through that all the fucking time with dudes. Like like even in this song, it's like there's that line where you're saying something about like getting the dick pic sent to you like 100 dick pics a day.
Hey, here come the dick pics by the ton. So show your tits. Won't that be fun? Yeah. I mean, well, that song was totally written. I was talking to an old friend of mine, and she was just telling me about like she had talked to a guy that we knew. I've known this girl since middle school, and like she was talking to me about, hey, you remember so and so? I was like, oh yeah. She's like, yeah, he just fucking sent me a dick pic out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere?
And I was like, what? And like I know that guy, and I was like, what? He did what? And she's like, yeah. I mean, like
show it me, show me.
She's like, she's like married and shit. She's like, what the fuck do I do with this?
Yeah.
And I was like, fucking.
Well, he's hoping you'll jerk off to it.
Creeps. I don't know. Yeah. Like, dudes are creeps. I don't know.
Right.
I'm no better than them. I guess I'm just smoother than them. I
don't know. You know your boundaries. That's the thing. It's just like you know.
There's a line.
Yes.
There's a line.
Do not cross this line.
Yeah. I don't like making people uncomfortable, and I feel like there's a lot of the population that really enjoys making people uncomfortable.
I think people are oblivious. I think the people
that's kind of you to say.
No, I think they know in the backs of their minds that it's wrong, but I think that they are like a little bit too motivated by impulse to really to think it through and to derail themselves and say like, I shouldn't do that.
At best, they think it's like charming and funny.
I don't know about charming and funny. I think that's their excuse. I think when it doesn't fall right, if it doesn't work, I was trying to be funny. That was supposed to be cute.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's the excuse.
Yeah.
But in reality,
like I said, at best.
Right.
At best.
No. But at best, it's their excuse. Like so, like they know what they're doing. Their reaction, like their actions shouldn't, like they shouldn't be doing it. Like there's a certain way to talk to a woman as a male, as a heterosexual male, that you should not do. Like it's not going to go well. And if it does go well, okay, it worked out in your favor. It's like that fucking Saturday Night Live fucking sketch, like where Michael Jackson and Liberace are talking about like hooking up with women.
I don't know the sketch.
No, okay, no. You gotta find it. It's fucking Eddie Murphy as fucking Michael Jackson, and I think it's Billy Crystal as Liberace, and they're talking about like hooking up with women, and they're like the most like kind of like awkwardly like gay men, like pop stars. They're like, there's just like that there's that random moment where you like just you just gotta go up to the girl and you say like, I want to jump your bones. It's just like, and
well, it's like a lot of guys.
The time that it works is so satisfying.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys just play the odds.
Right.
They're like, if 9 girls slap me and 1 girl sucks my dick, then I fucking win. I won. Yeah. It's like just cast a net. You
cast your net wide enough.
Yeah.
And you'll succeed eventually. All right, we should move on to Destroy You.
Very blown out.
Well, it's also the quality of the fucking playback right now.
No. I'm very familiar with this record.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying it's blown out as fuck. And it's like you don't miss a bass at all because everything's so blown out. It's like,
oh yeah.
It's like,
right.
You don't need that deep tone because it's the guitars are so in the red, if you will.
Of course.
That it kind of just loans itself to
Mm-hmm.
to a fuller sound. Of, you just don't miss the bass.
I agree with you. So, what was I gonna say about fucking John Spencer and this? Okay, so I was asking you about your dream producer scenario earlier because as we discussed, Cheater Six do not like this record in general.
Yeah.
Like in hindsight, looking back at it, they're like that they really didn't capture our sound. It was a great opportunity to work with a guy that's like the successful like blues rock, garage rock artist.
Yeah.
But he fucking stamped himself on this so hard. And I completely agree because I like their other records. I listened to a couple of other ones so far, and they do sound a little different. I mean, it's still a garage rock aspect to it. It's still bluesy. It's still like kind of heavy in the two guitars, but like even as we were listening to this song "Destroy You," like it kicks into the song like coming in from Sensitive Side, and you hear him do that like like that in the background. It's just like that sounds like John Spencer.
I don't think it is.
No, but it sounds like
Oh,
it. But
okay.
that's the thing. It's just like for me, I'm like I'm not a producer and I have not produced anything yet, but like I have always thought about it and like envision it, and I'm just like, if you want to work with a band to produce them, you don't want to take what they do and make it your own. You want to like work with what they do and help them like envision like what they do.
Well, my guess, as much as worth as much as anybody else's guess, is that he wasn't trying to take it over as much as he was trying to be like he played a show and they were the opening act and he's like, I fucking like these guys,
right?
And I think he's trying to help them,
right?
Because he's already successful.
Yeah,
like
he had them open up for them on tour.
Yeah,
in '95.
Yeah, and he's like, I think he's like, I'm gonna put my stamp on this because it's gonna give them a boost up, and then they can do whatever they want from there. Because he doesn't produce any other albums after this. And I mean, again, like they voiced that they didn't like how it didn't sound like them to them, but I mean, I don't think they turned down any requests for him to produce stuff. It's just like he's like, I'm gonna do this one thing, and that's what it is. It's this piece of art that we all made together,
right? And
then you're free to do whatever you want after that, and you could have somebody else produce it, or you could produce it yourself, or whatever you want to fucking do, and. It's like they'd already had a couple albums out by then, so it wasn't like he just absorbed them into, this is mine.
Right.
Right. It's just that he smacked himself all over it, which, has led to some people hating it and some people liking it. But I mean, I also like the albums before and the albums after,
Right.
I mean, not like I said earlier, not the immediate album after this. I thought they're kind of their weakest album, but there's a song in there called Ghost that I think is fucking awesome as fuck. But like, you said Your Last Record, Refried Dreams, like these records are all super awesome. They don't sound like this record at all. It's maybe to them it's more their sound, and that's great. I like those records too. And just that this was the record that at the time that it was introduced to me became a huge influence on how I was going to go forward.
Yeah.
Well, approach music in general, and it helped me come up with confidently come up with how I think not only songs should go and a band could be arranged, but how a set list should go, how an album should go. If everything's fucking super fast, then it's all monotone. You got to have that. It's like the art of the album, which is lost a lot now because people don't listen to albums; they listen to singles.
Right.
It's like we've gone full cycle. Like in the '60s and stuff, it's like it was all about that single. You got to get that hit.
Right.
You got to get that hit on the radio, and the album's an afterthought. You got to get how many chart busters can you put on a out of an artist, and then later became like the art of the album. The album itself is the piece of work, the piece of art.
Right.
It's like sit and listen to the art and to the album of its entirety, and that's the statement. And I like that idea a lot. You know, it's like the song is a hit. Yeah, that's great. I mean, I also like that too. But if you're gonna make an album, and I think of every set list is kind of like a mini album. You know, it's like you're gonna hear the whole fucking thing. I mean, you could leave, I guess, but you know, the idea is you're listening to the whole set. So what does that whole set represent? If it's like 10 blistering fast songs, it's like kind of boring by song 6, you know. But if like you come out with 3 fast songs, or you know, high energy songs, and then you take it down for a minute, not only does it give the listener, you know, a moment to, oh, you know, what's happening, you know, there's a notable change, but then when you go back up, that fucking energy means something, you know. Uh-oh.
Oh no,
I'm hearing beeps.
That's not good.
Beeps aren't good. Beeps are never good, unless it means like your microwave popcorn's done.
Yeah. All right, so look, so I don't think we're gonna get into the second side of this. I wanted to kind of like go into Spanish Rose a little bit.
Spanish Rose and Mystery Ship. Quick, play it now.
I do like that chorus.
It's a beautiful song. It's a great song. And the acoustic guitar sounds great on it too. I think it adds something that it's not like a low energy folky song where you think, oh yeah, acoustic guitar would work on this.
Right.
It's like it's almost like the Pixies. You know, it's like they played acoustic guitar on some fucking rockin' tunes, and it's had this great sound to it. You know.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of similar to what's going on here. It's like, I mean, you could play a song with electric guitars and it'd be great. It'd be fine. But with the acoustic guitar, it adds like an element that's.
If an acoustic guitar is not played
like a sleeper,
finger pickingly or like softly strumming, then yeah, it can be used as punk. I mean, even the Breeders, Cannonball, is played on an acoustic guitar, but it's just that they put it through a distortion pedal.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, like if you strum and hit it hard enough and fast enough, then it doesn't seem like an acoustic guitar necessarily.
Well, I think like it very much sounds like an acoustic guitar.
Right. But it doesn't provide that same feel, that same folk like
yeah. There's no folk
sensibility
sound.
to it. Right.
Well, and it's clearly like an overdub, like, you know, because the other guitars are still playing. You know, but this is not something that's on any other Cheer Slicks albums that I can think of off the top of my head.
Acoustic guitar?
Yeah. It's not an element they use a lot. So I think it's interesting that he did use it on this recording, and like it's a benefit. I feel like it really works on that song. I mean, I'm not arguing that they should use the acoustic guitar more. I just like it's a nice fucking touch. It sounds cool on this song.
So have you seen this band play live before?
Yes, I've had the pleasure of opening for them a couple times.
When and with which band?
Black Clouds both times.
Where?
Once at PA's Lounge in Boston, or Somerville, I guess.
Okay.
And then once at Middle East Upstairs.
Cool.
With the Hunches and the Tampoffs. The Hunches are fucking totally badass too, out of Portland, Oregon. You know those guys?
No, the Hutches. No.
The Hunches.
Hunches. I'm sorry.
Hunches. Yes. Yeah, they have 2 albums on In the Red. Fucking fantastic. Manic fucking band. Super cool guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guys and girls. Yeah. Super awesome.
So you lucked out opening up for this band on a couple of occasions.
Yeah. I was like, it was we played at PA's Lounge, I think it was the second time, and like it's a smaller venue than Middle East.
I played there.
So like, you know how it's like one side's the stage show area and the other side's like the drinking bar.
Yeah, the bar, yeah.
So like those guys were like sitting at their table, And I was like, I'm not going to geek out on these guys. I'm not going to geek out on these guys. And then I totally went over and geeked out on them, you know. I was like, hey, how's it going? I'm a fucking huge fan. You know, just like, you know, like, be cool, man. Be cool. You know, like, you know, it's like, you know, I mean, I can't remember what I said, but I was talking to him a little bit, and I was like, okay, well, we're going to go play. And I was talking to Dave Shannon, the guitar player, and he's like, oh, all right, cool. You know, it's like, so you guys are in Columbus, Ohio, right? Like, why'd you move there from here? He's like, oh, because our friend Don Howland from the, you know, like, oh yeah, the guy from the Bass Holes. He's like, yeah, you know, he was living there and just seemed like a cool, cheap place to live.
Right.
Like, how would you describe the town? He's like, oh, they're really into football. I was like, okay. like you're not selling me on it, man.
Yeah.
You know, and then I was like, what do you do for a living? He's like, you know that restaurant Red Robin? I was like, yeah. He's like, I paint their signs. Yeah, cool. And I mean, they did not want to talk to me.
Glamorous.
You know, they did not want to talk to me. And they were like not rude, you know, like they were answering my questions, but I was like, it's super obvious you want me to go away.
Yeah.
But I'm not going away. You know,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sorry, I'm a huge fan. I'm stuck. I was like, I'm one of your biggest fans. He's like, oh, you're not our biggest fan. I was like, oh no? They're like, no, this guy is. And it's like, folks over this like little weirdo that's like, hey. I was like, what's his deal? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, if you guys ever want to go on tour ever, I'll drive you. And so we got offered this tour, and we're like, you want to drive us? And he's like, yeah. So that's why we're here. It's like, wow. Yeah, that guy's a bigger fan than I am. Thanks, man. No, you're welcome. Like,
Takes all kinds,
little
man.
Nervous weirdo. And then, yeah, so then, like, we played, and like, I came back, and I was like, they're sitting exactly where they were before. I was like, do you check out the show? He's like, oh, yeah, man. I was like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't, man. You're sitting exactly where you were. He's like, man, I don't know. I've seen a lot of bands.
Right.
All you young kids, blah, blah. And at the time I was in the Black Clouds, and it's like two of the guys in my bands were like 10 years older than me. I was like, these guys are the same age as you. And they're like, oh, really? Who? I was like, the show's over, dude. You missed it. He's like, oh, damn. I was like, really? That's all, like, ageism? Really? That's what I'm hit with?
Oh, shit, man. Oh, shit.
And, you know, looking back, I don't fucking blame them. They probably have seen like 5,000 mediocre bands. And they're like, yeah, another fucking show.
They've been playing since 87.
Yeah. I get it. But at the time, I was just like fucking so excited to play with these guys.
Well, you know, I appreciate your enthusiasm, and I appreciate that you like actually approach them being given the opportunity to play with a band that influenced you.
Yeah.
That's fucking huge.
No, I've been very lucky. I've played with several bands that I just always assumed would be like an unobtainable goal.
Yeah.
You know, like I played at the Country Teasers, and I was just like, I played with them on their first show of a like nationwide tour. Like they flew in, played Providence, Rhode Island at like Red Rum or whatever.
Okay.
And to like 4 people from Providence and 40 people from Boston came to see that show.
Weird.
Yeah. And they played for like an hour and a half. It was crazy. It was like trying to get their chops in before their tour, you know?
Right.
They were super awesome. But yeah, we opened up for them. It was great. Us and White Mice.
This is Black Clouds you're talking about?
Yeah.
So look, you wanted me to get into Mystery Ship, didn't you?
I did.
All right, let's get into that right now, only because we're running out of time and we need to get this in. All right, well, you know how the fucking song goes. I know.
Awesome.
I know how it goes too.
Awesome.
I just have to remind myself. Okay.
Awesome. Fucking awesome.
Under better circumstances, I would fucking be able to play that and hear it perfectly. So, of all the questions that I had for you, I guess I actually asked them all already.
I was gonna say, ask them rapid fire.
Rapid
And make me answer them like quickly.
So, a lot of questions that I have for people that are on this show that I don't actually ask is, what is the influence of vinyl records on you?
As opposed to like CDs or something?
Well, I mean, like, what is the significance of vinyl records for you?
Oh, I feel like if you're on vinyl, it's real.
It's final.
It's very real, and if you put it on CD, it's fine.
Well, you
Tape's
yourself as a
fine.
musician being, producing the music, but like, what about as just a listener? What is the significance of listening to music on record?
I feel like if you put it on a record player and you put a needle to it, you're like paying attention. Like this is like what I'm doing right now. Even if you're doing something else while you're listening to it, you're like, this is part of my. I'm the experience I'm having right now is listening to this and doing whatever else you're doing. I don't know. It just really shapes your experience a lot more than just listening to something digitally.
Do you smell the record when you open it?
I have a terrible sense of smell.
Do you have COVID?
No, not that I'm aware of.
All right. So we are officially done.
Oh, I'm not done.
I'm done.
You go to bed. I'll be here.
You want to hang out in my fucking shed all night long?
Dude, this fucking shed is fucking awesome.
Dude, it's actually pretty big, isn't
I
it?
sent a picture of this to my wife. I was like, you fucking see this thing? This is fucking legit.
Dude.
It's like 20 feet deep, 2 stories. It's not your garage. It's like your other building. This fucking thing is awesome.
Yeah, you're easily like 10 feet from me. At least.
Yeah.
At least 10 feet. So, fuck you guys. You're in your...
No, it's like, I'm like 20 feet from you. Like...
Yeah, you're totally fucking far from me. Like, and then I have my mask here if I fucking want it eventually, So, yes, thank you for coming and doing this and talking to me about the fucking Cheater Slicks.
Cheater fucking Slicks.
By the way, Cheater Slicks.
River Chows.
Of the River Chows.
Or, as they say in Illinois, Chow. I assumed. What do you say to that?
Well, I want to just talk like this.
I just want to talk like this about my brothers. Cheater Slicks. Kind of an uptight place.
That's true. That's true about Rhode Island for sure. As you were saying
He was talking about Boston.
But Rhode Island's the same. Rhode Island's the same as fucking Napoleon complex to Boston.
Yeah. But, it's funny. When I moved here, there was like this big Boston, Rhode Island beef that I don't think Boston's aware of.
Because they don't care.
Because it's like,
who the fuck cares about those guys?
Yeah, and it's like the first band I was in when I moved here had a member from Boston, and the second band I was in after I moved here had a member from Boston, and so like we had like 2 home bases, and we played Boston all the fucking time. We played Providence all the time, like turning down shows all the time, And then as soon as I started Party Pigs, no Boston member. Boston card revoked. Like bars I'd played a dozen times were like not interested, and I'm like, it's fucking serious, like bands I'd played with 20 fucking times, never not giving shows anymore. I was just like, damn,
right?
You don't have a Boston citizen in your ranks. That card is revoked.
We are the bastard child of the East Coast.
Yeah, well, it's like like New York's too fucking cool for you.
Oh yeah.
And then Boston adopts that same point of view if you don't have a member. Apparently, I don't know. I mean, I have friends that live in Boston still, and I'm like,
fuck you guys.
Want to play a show? They're like, sorry, blood. Like,
Sorry, you're gonna get anyone from Boston.
yeah. You got to have one of our citizens or something. I don't know what the deal is.
So weird. Matt, I have to say thank you for coming.
Thank you.
This has been so great. No, seriously. I mean, like, to kick off the new year and, like, have someone that is so fun and just kind of, like, cool to hang out with. Because, you know, we haven't been able to hang out like this before. I don't think we ever really spoken for more than, like, 20 minutes.
Yeah, definitely acquaintance level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
seems like a nice guy. Don't know him that well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that's right on for you.
Yeah.
But I love your band.
Thanks,
I love
man.
the new band. I love the record.
Appreciate that.
Songbirds right here.
Perfect review. Can I quote you for that?
You got it. Please do. And no, seriously, I really love the music. I've been listening to it. I've been listening to all of it. Thank you, Matt. Thank you for coming. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
I've had a good time.
Thank you very much, sir. Vinyl Vision is a Psychic Static production. Theme song written and performed by Jeff Robbins of 123